Everyone remembers where they were when he died. It's not every day someone comes along who changes the face of boxing. It was unexplainable, yet devastating like an earthquake. People know how the story ended for him, but only a handful of people knew where it started. When we first started sparring, I remember nearly throwing up. We had talked about sparring as a joke, but not properly. And yet here we are, about to beat each other up. At first we were scared shitless. We were sort of in the same mindset of, I should take this seriously, but I don't want to do serious damage, you know? It was tough, and at first we had trouble. But after a while, we were going in on each other.
I got a call one morning from a friend who represented the gym where he boxed. He said, "You've got to get down here." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "There's this kid who's the next big thing." I remember being slightly hungover that morning and thinking, do I go? Do I send someone else? Or do I just ignore it? I ended up walking down, sort of stumbling around noon, and I walk over to the ring. And there's this kid who, I can't really describe it. He had this aura about him. I stood on the ropes and watched him, and I knew he could be great.
When the gym owner introduced us to this guy, I remember shaking hands and I could tell he had boxed before. He was talking to us about potential and that, and then he just laid it on us, saying that he wanted to take him to the next level, and he wanted me to be his training partner in the whole thing. I remember being really happy for him. Just the fact that someone had noticed and wanted to take it further meant a lot. I didn't mind not being on his level, really. I was happy for him. We ended up going to the pub that night, coming home about 6 in the morning. We had no idea what going professional was gonna mean. We just decided to take it how it came. With going professional, everything changed. We were like little kids in a toy shop, you know? No guidance, just fun. When there was a fight, we'd train like soldiers. We could hone in on it. We'd go from partying all night to boot camp the next morning. We had a good thing going, we did.
It's completely blown my mind. The numbers that we're seeing on the pre-subscription buys for DAZN, for Sky Sports Box Office, for Fight TV are just crazy. And we're going to embrace this, we're going to enjoy it.
Like smaller gloves and no head guards as well. How much of an impact do you think that'll have on the outcome of the fight?
Oh, humongous. We won't see a draw, that's a fact. I think someone's going to be knocked out on that canvas.
Two of the very best pound-for-pound fighters already in the world of boxing. We know that there's a whole new audience coming to this sport on Saturday night. And the aim for us is to make sure that this audience gets to see greatness, that gets to fall in love with all the things that we fell in love with this sport of boxing.
He's going to be criticised. You look at him, you think, this guy doesn't look like a heavyweight fighter. He doesn't look in great shape.
So our plan to create a huge global audience on Saturday and make sure they stick around, stay in the sport of boxing and follow all of these great fighters.
The numbers we're seeing are phenomenal. The social numbers, the early subscription buys as well. So a huge opportunity for this roster of fighters to introduce themselves to the next generation of sports fans, the next generation, we hope, of boxing fans.
The big fight. That's what was going to cement him in history. I knew if he could pull that off, it would make them. These were two young boxers who were loved by the public and who were about to fight each other.
At first, when we heard about the big fight and the idea of boxing each other, we were excited. We trained the same. But I knew there was something different. We didn't see it as fun anymore. We started training together less and less. That's when I started lashing out. In the weeks leading up to the fight, I didn't even see him as my friend anymore. Just another guy in the ring. It never sunk in that he might have been in serious trouble. All I can remember was him looking worried, just flashes of his eyes turning to fear. I remember watching his eyes change. I went to the hospital to see him. I saw his face lying there on the bed. At first I thought he was sleeping, but he was gone. It took me a while to accept that I'd just killed my best friend. Looking back at us training in the gym while we skipped school, it made me think, did we go too far? Did we push ourselves too much? Maybe we didn't push ourselves that far, you know? When it comes to injury in boxing, there's only a certain amount you can control. It's like if a soldier dies in battle. Yeah, it's sad, but do you have the right to be angry? It's just war, right? I mean, people die in war. That's what people kept telling me. But I didn't see it that way. He was my friend, and I killed him.